got to tell you about.
Real time has very, very, very few
a lot of writers
celebrities
and people.
Pundits, governors, senators, congressmen, people who, yes, exactly.
Me, I've been on there.
Yes, but most people are, the show people, this is not the show for them. Not I'm putting them down, but you have to know shit. And celebrities mostly do not feel the need to know shit. And then there's many who don't know shit, but it doesn't stop them from speaking.
Because you can't just be known for memorizing words that someone else wrote and spitting them back into a camera. It's got to be something more. And I think a lot of them get into trouble that way.
Well, I mean, I'd say this a lot on this show, and they probably hate me for it in Hollywood, but they hate me anyway, so who cares? But celebrities are just, some of them do, yeah.
They do.
The smart ones. But celebrities, they're just a different breed. It's just they're loaded with talent. Talent is different than, knowing things. And, thinking ain't their best thing off.
Wow. Wow. Bill Maher, really? How about Billy Bush?
Yes.
with a great line about memorizing words and thinking you know something. Wow. Yeah. Go Billy Bush.
Very, very accurate representation. But I got to tell you something, Mark.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
For me?
For the show.
Oh, happy show birthday. Okay, great.
Technically, it's tomorrow. But 4 years ago tomorrow, and there's not going to be a show tomorrow. Sorry, folks. But so this is it. This is the birthday. We'll just say that I was thinking about building it the next day. We had already been up for about a minute. The channel got taken out, completely removed. And I thought, you know what? It's only 3 weeks old. I'm going to rebuild it. And thus, this is the Rebuilt America's Untold Stories channel.
Wow.
4 years old. And
how old is
interesting. It's 4 years.
Oh my God.
Tomorrow. Interesting trivia, though. 4 years ago today was the death of Helena Hutchins. And 22 years ago today was the death of Elliott Smith. And I never realized that they died on the same date.
Wow. That's an awkward moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird that our show's life kind of is so closely tied with the Rust shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've literally
because of timing and celebrity and movies and Baldwin. I mean, we didn't go out and seek that out. It was just
God, no. It was
handed to us. I mean,
yeah, I actually, when I built this 4 years ago, it was the first time I met Viva Fry and Robert Barnes in person too. So I built the channel in the morning. And I drove up to Tim Pool's neck of the woods and met them both in person as well. So a lot of things tied in with the birth of the show.
Weird. Wow.
It's been
you're into numerology. There's numerology involved here.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's just it is what it is. I was thinking about, I saw something about Elliott Smith. And I was like, oh, that's right. I should post that we have an episode about Elliott Smith, and I put it out there. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. That's the same day as Helena Hutchins. What weird, Hollywood bit. Wow. So, and by the way, it was the Elliott Smith episode that got the channel taken out to begin with.
Oh, I see. Right. By that director, that weird film director.
Yes, because we had, and just so everybody knows, we prevailed, but we used a clip from that director, and what I did is I used that clip that we were commenting on. It's called Fair Use, and I built a trailer for our show, and then we did our show, and I also had some body language analysis done on a particular clip. Well, because of YouTube and their draconian copyright routines, this guy was able to strike 3 videos, boom, 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 at right at one time. He actually struck 2 of them, and I was like, hey, wait, can we talk? And then he slammed the third one, and the channel got taken out. Over a month later, it was restored. I won all rights, and it's now laid back law. But it just really sucked. It really sucked.
Well, the episodes there, I think there's 2 of them. More importantly,
there are 2.
It's a complicated story. You may want to take a look at those episodes because of the anniversary of his death. But
it's still unsolved situation.
He's still an open case on LAPD's books. Yeah.
Yeah, he was not declared self-inflicted. I think it was
not declared self-deleted. More importantly, and
yes.
Nor the other way. So there's no statute of limitations on murder.
No. Whose death let know? Elliott Smith. He was kind of a big figure in the emo world of music. He was in a lot of soundtracks. If you hear his music, you're probably like, I've heard that song before, because to this day he's used in a ton of soundtracks, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know if he's emo, but brilliant singer songwriter, and somehow got involved with some unusual people. Let me just put it that way.
I don't know that he's emo. A lot of his audience is emo.
That I don't know.
So
I'm his audience. I don't know if I'm emo. I've always listened to Elliott Smith since day one, but he's got a lot of fans, including Gus Van Sant from Good Will Hunting. Got nominated for Best Song for Good Will Hunting, and he opened up the Oscars that year. And Good Will Hunting, obviously, with Robin Williams, who will be exploring tomorrow on What's Up with Lord Buckley. That puts him on the map because he finally wins the Best Supporting Actor, Robin Williams, in that movie that has the Elliott Smith soundtrack all through it.
Right. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. I saw it earlier. I didn't know that there was a documentary released on Rust this year. It came out in March.
I didn't know that either.
It's on Hulu, so I want to check it out just to see what they come up with, and also like in another documentary, some of our footage wound up in the documentary. I forgot which one that was.
Yeah, and some of the Elliott Smith one ended up on Vice, I think.
That's right.
Yeah, remember that? Vice,
it was Vice.
They stole it.
Exactly. So I admit there's a little selfishness too. That kind of, we go, we did a lot of Alec Baldwin coverage and we broke some stories.
Oh, you're thinking this one may have something in it?
It's possible. And again, though, if they do, they do. It's fair use. But I would like to know if it happens. And I can't believe I missed it.
They should give you credit in the credits.
Yeah. Okay.
Who am I to say? But that's traditionally what's done. I mean, maybe not anymore.
Yeah, I was.
It doesn't kill you.
McAfee. I requested. That was part of the negotiation, is that I got a credit.
In the old days, they did it just to avoid trouble, to be on the safe side. They didn't. Who cares what's in the credits?
I agree. Here's the funny part: where I did get the credit in the McAfee bit.
Yeah.
If you're watching on Netflix and you go to the end, it skips to the next program. So you have to literally say, stay and watch all the credits.
You have to do that with everything. You have to do that with everything now. Yeah, they just don't want you looking at those credits.
Yeah. So anyway, it is.
By the way, I don't know if you saw that thing Andrew put up about Oliver Stone now going after Congresswoman Luna this morning on
I
Twitter.
shared that Oliver Stone, a tweet that he sent yesterday saying, I don't know what's going on, but I didn't dig into it any further.
Well, they're not responding to his letter, and they're not responding to anybody's letter except one researcher. I don't know why she doesn't have a staff member at least respond saying we're working on it. We'll get back to you. I mean, it's the same with the credits. I mean, these things cost you nothing, and yet they don't even seem to have the common decency to reply.
Oh, no, dude, I totally.
I mean, it doesn't kill you. I mean, it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, when
you
they
can't respond to Oliver Stone saying, I read your letter. I'm gonna, we're busy doing something. We'll get back to you. Fascinating letter. Thank you.
Well, Mark, she's busy now. She's doing a victory lap here.
What is she into now? UFOs?
Nope.
Speaking of transparency, Congresswoman, this is Nicole Sapphire. You announced this week that you have received Russia's report on the assassination of former President John F. Kennedy. You've been working to release information on the killings of John F. Kennedy, MLK, and chairwoman of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. Can you
What?
tell us a little bit about that?
She released files on herself.
This was actually months in the making. As soon as I got the task force, I was made aware that Russia did have a complete report on the assassination of Kennedy that in the 90s Congress had tried to obtain but had failed. And so at that point in time, I picked up the phone and I had my office arrange a meeting with the ambassador to Russia. And to our surprise, but also following through on their promise, they did deliver us a 380-page report, of which we have now uploaded. And we actually have experts in the Kennedy assassination, both Democrat and Republican, working with translators to go through these documents. What I will tell you is serendipitous in timing is that Kennedy was actively involved in back-channeling conversations with the then Soviet president and didn't want a nuclear arms exchange. You all know this. And so that's actually confirmed in a lot of these documents. And also, too, from what we're being told, there was a former NSC advisor to Clinton that actually also confirmed the validity of these documents. It's important for people to understand that there should always be peace pursued, especially on this topic. And isn't it interesting that President Trump, I believe, is fulfilling and finalizing President Kennedy's legacy on the topic of Russia? So hopefully this is a sign of things to come with peace, especially with Russia. And I will say that our task force specifically has been able to deliver great wins for the American people.
God, you can make that boring.
Yeah, that's hard to do. I mean, I haven't.
I was sitting
there
here going, how long is this? Only a minute and it's changed. It feels like it's been 5 minutes so far.
I've got the translated version, and I haven't read every page yet, but I presume they wanted to get in there and strip out anything about LBJ because the Soviet KGB, in their summation, which was released by word of mouth back in the 70s and 80s, indicated their belief that the mastermind of the assassination was LBJ. That's why they wanted these documents. All of a sudden, they're after these KGB documents, Eric. We're trying to get what's in the archives, stuff into the archives, and all of a sudden they're going to a it was so abrupt that red flags went up on the back of my neck.
Other things you're looking for too, right?
Right. So the second thing they did, which was also abrupt, again, not federal documents, was to go after the William Manchester chapter that was ordered to be sealed by a federal judge from a lawsuit by Jackie Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy Sr., because in that chapter, which Jackie Kennedy freely gave in audio interviews with William Manchester for a book that she hired him to write called The Death of a President, in there, when Robert Kennedy read it, he flipped out because, as people have indicated, her belief was that LBJ was the mastermind behind the assassination. These two points have been through lines through the assassination since 1963. The Soviet KGB indicating that LBJ was the mastermind, and the William Manchester book being sealed by a federal judge, the chapter of it, not the book itself, of Jackie's interviews, because it was said that she indicated that LBJ was the mastermind of the assassination. The fact that this task force went after those two things right out of the gate indicates to me that they want to get their hands on the LBJ stuff and bury it. That's just me.
Well, confirm with me, because you know this far more than I do. Aren't those kind of in the weeds anyway? And that's
Absolutely.
what makes it especially odd.
Dude,
it's
that's
like
what I'm saying.
It's not like the rumor mafia or all the normal stuff. It's like
this is
these
so
are very
in the
specific.
weeds that you would have to know what you're looking for and say all of a sudden, when they're just getting started as a task force trying to get out the documents that we have in our government, she decided, or was told to decide, that we have to contact the Russian embassy to get the Soviet KGB documents on Oswald. Well, why is that pertinent? Why go and contact William Manchester's estate to get these documents out of his safe? Why is that pertinent? As Eric said, these are completely in the weeds that only not me personally, I and other researchers know about. It's a very small circle of friends who know about this, and yet this became the immediate search by her task force.
Yeah,
very odd,
okay.
Eric.
It kind of makes me wonder. This document that you have, and I put the translated version up on Locals, by the way, so everyone who's a Locals member, it's up there. Check it out. Are we sure that that's the entire thing?
Of course
Were
not.
there any
No,
pages
okay.
removed? Was there
Oh,
anything
right,
changed? And it's in
right.
Russia,
I
for God's
assume
sake.
they got that document and stripped out any references to LBJ. That was my fear. And immediately it was given to a private citizen who is completely opposed to the LBJ involvement, a private citizen who's a JFK researcher, who is completely opposed to any LBJ investigation into LBJ's involvement in the assassination. So it was almost like giving it to Gerald Posner, a lone nutter in this particular subject.
Oh, by the way,
area.
he's piping off. He's
Yeah.
out there. Yep, oh, nothing to see. Look at that. There's nothing there.
Well, you
Proven
expect
right.
that from Posner, but the fact that she gave it to a private researcher without it being given to the American public is suspect at best. And I think Oliver is starting to smell a rat. He's probably busy with other things at this point in his life, but the fact that he's calling out for information at this point, I mean, it is outrageous. It is totally outrageous that this has been given to a private citizen. And you're right. I don't know what's been taken out of this. And I'll tell you something else. That 300+ page document is a summary of the tens of millions of documents that the KGB has on Oswald. This is not the file. This is a summary of their thousands and thousands of pages on Oswald that Norman Mailer went over in the 90s to try to get out of there for his book about Oswald. And the best they would do would allow them to go into a room and read a page and not even take notes. I think they had to just read it and get out. And that was when Ernst Titovitz was over there, who was Oswald's wingman, a guy I know who
send him the original Russian.
Yeah, no, I'm going to contact. I don't know. I don't know what his status is, but I'm going to try to go over there in August and see what's going on. I'm going to try to go to Moscow itself and get into that file room once the war's over. I'm not going now, but I would like to try to get over there and see what's in the files. That being said, this is a summary. A lot of it is just their political interpretation of events in the United States in general. Cold War stuff and Bay of Pigs and everything else, their takes on things. But I didn't see anything about LBJ as of yet.
No, I saw that they were saying that he was a suspicious individual, but just more personality oriented. But, again, it felt very carefully, like very diplomatically put together, where they weren't going to almost like they might have shared this with other countries or something at the time, and they didn't want to flat out say, from what I've seen. Now, what I want to point out too is I am not saying for sure. It could be 100% the actual document as handed to her, but their actions make it to where I can never know for sure, because it didn't go directly to the National Archives and up on the site. Right. It went through a private citizen, so it's automatically tainted in my mind. There's no way for me to know.
In my mind too, especially if that private citizen does not believe that Oswald was not in Mexico City in September of 1963 and believes that he was there despite photographic evidence to the contrary, and also does not believe that this Democratic icon, Lyndon Baines Johnson, was not involved in the assassination. That's who you're dealing with.
Also doesn't know what 399 is. So very specific knowledge points, but then some of the general knowledge.
The only guy I would trust giving this stuff to would be Jim DiEugenio. And even that I wouldn't like, because again, he's a private citizen.
Sure.
I wouldn't like it to go to Oliver Stone because he's a private citizen.
I don't think Jim would want it like that. I think he'd want to be in a committee,
right?
In Congress, like working with staff members or something, kind of like they did. I mean, Groden did that kind of thing with the
Can't you put it in a skiff and have people go into the skiff? I mean, what the hell's wrong with this woman?
Yeah, it is really, really, really troubling. But yeah, and back to it, the 399 thing stands out to me, and just so everybody understands, Mark is the expert on JFK. I'm along for the ride. I learn everything from Mark pretty much. But when I'm looking at this hearing and listening to it, I hear an individual say they're not sure what 399 is. I was like, wait a minute, what? I know what 399 is, and I am like a total newbie who's seen JFK and am learning off Mark. So it's just insane.
Well, I think we're going to have more coverage on Tuesday. If Eric is informed me correctly, we're going to have
a week of today.
Andrew Eiler back with his partner Mark from the book Chokeholds. We've had Paul Blue on and Andrew the week before, but now we've got Andrew and Mark, the two lawyers that sued the Biden administration. They're going to explain to you on Tuesday where we are, what happened, and how they're being pressured by certain elements in the JFK research community to shut up and go away. This is a fascinating story that needs public airing because they are really good-natured volunteers in the JFK research community who have put together all kinds of documents regarding the Assassinations Record Review Board. And now Oliver Stone has come out and backed them, and so is Jim DiEugenio. So these are a group of men who put out the book Chokeholds that we highly recommend because it's a chapter by chapter kind of a cliff notes on the assassination of the easiest ways to explain the assassination chapter after chapter after chapter, the so-called chokeholds in the Warren Commission report that are clearly false. Easy to read, a lot of fun, and written by these guys.
And I have the most respect for these guys too, because they're out there, they're doing the hard drudgery work.
Yeah.
What they do is the grind. They're going through, crossing every T, dotting every I.
They're both
the
lawyers.
Important stuff.
They're both lawyers, so they know how to navigate in that world, but they're under a lot of pressure to shut up and go away now. And I think that's why Tuesday's show is so important.
Yes. And any colorful language is us. They're very nice and very thoughtful people.
Yeah, they're attorneys. I mean, I'm a guy with a big mouth from the streets of Brooklyn. I mean, it's two different worlds, but nevertheless, all of us will be in Dallas a month from now, right? Almost exactly a month. We're going to be in Dallas
to this day. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. It's coming up really quick, and we're going to make a presentation, which I'm calling "Political Assassinations in Hollywood Cinema." We're going to go through all of the different films that Hollywood has made regarding political assassinations before and after the Zapruder film, with the help of Robert Groden, me and Eric, and some technology. We're going to be able to show you an amazing amount of clips from films and then talk about them in terms of the history of the big enchilada, so to speak, which is the Zapruder film, and also JFK, the movie.
Yeah, and we can't do that here. So this is a great opportunity. We're doing it at the conference because remember the story I just said starting the show about what happened to the original America's Untold Stories? Yeah. Well, if we tried to put that presentation on this channel, you would be saying goodbye to this channel again, and it would stick. So it would be completely destroyed. But because we are doing it there, people get to see it. And you don't even have to necessarily travel. You can go and you can watch it virtually too. They have tickets available that are virtual. I'd recommend getting everything, but it is entirely up to you. As I've said before, when you go to a conference, at every conference, I like to do what I call the hallway track. So a lot of times I might miss sessions because I'm busy meeting people and talking to like-minded folks and stuff like that. But if I have it online, I can then watch it. Or if I'm sitting in there and I just don't want to take notes, I just want to watch it and enjoy, well, I can always replay it and I can take notes later. So I really recommend you consider that, doing a virtual ticket no matter what. You will have virtual access if you're there in person till the end of the year. You can also buy downloads. They have a banquet that you definitely might want to check out because pretty much everybody's gathered to the banquet. Bottom right corner of your screen, that's a QR code.
Don't bring me any books because I can't get them on the plane. So
please,
I can't get all the stuff on the plane. So please don't bring me any more books.
That's true. That is true. Anyway, you can scan the code on the bottom right, and please, however you get it, a link in the description, the code on the bottom right with your phone, use the code Untold10. That will save you 10%, and it lets them know we sent you. So I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you get into the hotel, it's a big hotel. I'd recommend staying there at this place here because they a lot of the people are staying there, so it could be a lot of fun for you.
Yeah, it's so much easier, and then you run into people that you meet the night before. And then I don't know for sure, but it also helps with transportation or whatever. People a lot of times carpool. I do know from previous conferences that sometimes people will leave together in groups and they'll go to, sites in the area, like a Ruth Payne house if it's open, or
Payne House, Eric.
obviously Dealey
It's not always
Plaza.
open. I think you have to make an appointment to get in there.
It could be, but I do recommend everybody should go to Dealey Plaza. If you're there
yeah,
and you don't do Dealey Plaza ever, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I think it's exactly 1 month from today. So
It is.
You could book your airlines this weekend and or trains or boats or car or however close you are
All
to
the above.
Dallas. Or you could get close to Dallas. You could take maybe a drone, Eric. And isn't there a new story about drones?
Well, Mark, that is, as a matter of fact, the thumbnail of today.
Yeah, I appreciate that thumbnail because I remember finding that actual scientific private governmental organization in New Jersey and showing the building. Did we actually show the building on this show?
I don't think we showed we talked about it. I know we named the organization and we theorized about it. And I kind of, as well, said, "Oh, it's a private thing. They're testing." Okay.
Right. Yeah. No. It was just all roads led to this company in New Jersey, and they were demonstrating for the government what they wanted to get a huge government contract for drones. And the fact that nobody came out and said that, even the Trump administration, is really infuriating. Afterwards, saying it was just commercial drone operators. That's fucking outrageous, Eric. It really is.
I hesitate to go that far, and I'll tell you why. Because I think we are severely behind in drone technology, and we are scrambling to catch up. But a lot of the catching up would be, you need to do this in secret. You don't want people to know what we have or what we don't have, because we are at a point that this is actually trade secret stuff and defense oriented.
I agree with you, except Trump made it a campaign issue, and then he lied about it after he became president, and instead of saying this is what Eric just said. I mean, he could have easily said, the press secretary could have said what Eric just said, but they didn't. They lied about it, and now the lie has been exposed, and I really don't appreciate it. It's not the biggest lie. It's not missiles in Cuba. But totally unnecessary, totally fucking unnecessary by the Trump administration, Eric. And I agree with your assessment that we are behind, that it is secretive and blah, blah, blah. But now the guy from his own company's come out. It makes Trump look like a schmuck.
Yeah, he may not get his contract renewed too.
Right. I know.
I don't know. I mean, that might have been a part of it. But no, the drone stuff is really a hot item.
Yeah.
And I follow it too. I mean, it's such a hot item. We're talking about the number one consumer drone manufacturer is likely to be banned by the end of the year, and that's DJI. Why? Well, DJI is funded by the government of China, which is CCP. I don't care how you put it.
Yeah.
They get direct money from there. And if you think about it, I mean, DJI has, I think, 90% of drone market share or better. It is that much. And every hobbyist drone that has flown all over our country has potentially mapped the entire country, every neighborhood, every house, every single thing for China, because it's all going through their software. And it is all, and I'm guilty too, by the way. I have a DJI drone, which I have flown in my area. I avoid sensitive places, but it is what it is. And
I mean, this thing was such a debacle, the wave after wave of drones every single night. And then for Trump to simply say these were, commercial, non-commercial consumers doing this, when it was clearly super organized and, meant for other reasons. Just really frustrating, really frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I don't. I'm going to say that he probably followed what his advisor said on that one. And
I mean, he followed what Pompeo said on the JFK files.
That's true.
And then was made to look like a schmuck. No, I know. I don't look at him as a god. I'm just saying I got to call it out and call him as I see him.
Now, while we're talking about technology, I do want to jump over. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Amazon, AWS, Amazon Web Services, which is incredibly important to our society, believe it or not, they had a major outage yesterday.
Let me tell you how major this was. I couldn't get my bagels delivered from New York from H&H Bagels on Broadway because of this outage, they told me.
That's one thing. Absolutely.
Well, it's important to me personally.
Well, I don't know for sure, and I haven't been able to track it down, but we didn't get mail delivered yesterday.
Oh, interesting.
And neither did my father-in-law, who's in another city next door.
Interesting.
He also didn't get it. His trash and recycling didn't get picked up either.
Weird.
And the reason why I am suspecting this is because Leslie and I were confused. We're like, well, wait a minute here. It's not a holiday. Columbus Day was the week before, right?
Yeah. What's
going on? I think, and this is where people understand, AWS is like a giant cloud infrastructure that all these startups and now major corporations or whatever, they put all their computing power in the sky. So you have entire dispatch systems, even including emergency services, that are out because there's an outage of the brain, if you will. So it's like,
wow.
Think of it as like the world's largest mainframe dying.
Do they know why it died, Eric? Or
I don't know the reason yet. I just know that it was down. It was like, weird. But like, by the way, everybody who has a Ring doorbell, your data wasn't going up there, or you're not getting alerts. So hopefully nobody's house is.
Why wouldn't I get my bagels? Is it tied into the postal service?
Because their POS system is there. There's a company called Toast who collects credit cards. That's just one example. I'm sure there are many more. Yeah. Because all of their services, all transactions are going through AWS, it's a paperweight.
Oh, okay, right.
It's like going to the gas station and having to with your credit card. You're dead.
Oh, we used to do that, and that's in the old days.
But they don't even do that anymore. Now they just shut it down. They say, "Hey, credit card's down. You got cash?"
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're shit out of luck. So it is a big deal, and it is a problem. And I agree with the headline. It exposes major vulnerabilities to American life. And it's not only Amazon. Microsoft also has a giant cloud, which happens to have the government information on it, by the way. I think AWS has CIA information, or they did at one point.
That's awkward. That's awkward.
Yeah. And then Oracle also has one. So between all of these, though, it's interesting. And then, of course, Microsoft, remember we talked about this story a few weeks back, has Chinese contractors looking at their data for the government system, except busted them on that.
Wow.
So it's
wow.
It is an issue.
Speaking of AI, they have used to be a job in Hollywood called a script reader, and that job is about eliminated now because the producers and the studios and the agencies are using AI. Eliminating a job that everyone in this town, including myself, has had at some point. Not everyone, but I mean, people in the industry have had this job where they would pay you about $100 to read a script and put together a little book report. It's called coverage. And everybody's done it. If you're a screenwriter, if you're whatever in the business, actors, people have done this for years and years and years. So that has been eliminated, and now, for the most part, and now it's being done by AI, and the producers and even the studios and the agencies are saying we don't have to pay the person to read the script. We could just run it through AI and get it and get coverage from it. Here's an article, I think, from Variety today. Yeah, this is the story I'm referencing here, and this is an inch away from actually creating the full scripts, Eric.
It is. Well, and I'm going to bet that some full scripts are being heavily worked with AI. I forget the process of it, but if somebody has an idea, they can say, "Hey, generate a script. I want these characters, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this."
Yeah,
and then it spits it out, and then you punch it up, right? I mean, it just saves time. You're like, okay, here's the legwork, and then you do that.
If I got an assignment, I would do that just to see what comes out and to work with it and reformat it and rewrite it. I would do it just to see what came out of there if I got an assignment to write a script about something that lended itself to that type of material. In other words, if it was a script, the assassination of Garfield, Eric, right? And I got hired to write that, I'd run it through there. I'd say, I need a 120-page, 2-hour movie about the assassination of Garfield. The character is the president of the United States, and I'd feed in a little bit of info and see what came out.
I'd go even one better. I
Right.
think, especially on a series like a comedy, you'd feed in. You're on season 3 or 4. You feed in every script you've written so far. Here are all the characters. Here that now. Here's my scenario. Write it out and make it in the style of
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and it'll be incredibly
These
close.
producers are not going to stop because they, unless it's made illegal, why should they? I mean, immoral is not going to cut it. I mean, the only thing that's going to stop them, and that may not stop them, is illegality.
I don't think it will stop them because somebody else will just do it somewhere else where it
Yeah.
won't matter. It'll be like, okay, so we're not union anymore.
Yeah.
We'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll do this. We'll do that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to one up you though.
What?
You got the script writers. How about the host? This
What is
is
she
a
doing?
documentary
Yeah.
that was put out by Channel 4.
Right.
And you know how the documentaries have a presenter.
Right.
And the documentary was called "Will AI Take My Job?"
Oh, that's
And
nice.
they did something pretty clever with this.
AI is going to touch everybody's lives in the next few years. And for some, it will take their jobs.
Call centre workers, customer service agents, maybe even TV presenters like me. Because I'm not real. In a British TV first, I'm actually an AI presenter.
Wow.
Some of you might have guessed. I wasn't on location reporting this story. My image and voice were generated using AI.
Whoa. That's creepy. Yeah, there's a woman that has now gotten an AI woman. I forget her
they
name.
have influencers.
She now has a CAA agent. The AI. She signed with CAA. I couldn't get CAA. Well, I was at William Morris for a while, but an imaginary person now has a CAA agent. You can't make this stuff up, folks.
Not only that, from what I understand, I don't really use Instagram a lot per se, but from what I understand, for people like DMing it and chatting or whatever, you have an option to have an AI chat. So you can have an AI Instagram friend.
Wow.
And work on that.
Wow.
So there are people who are falling in love with AI, with their chatbots, everything else.
Oh,
So
literally in love with them. They literally,
yes.
emotionally in love, you mean?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so dark, bro. So dark.
It really is. Now, what I'm hoping is there may be still opportunity. It's just a matter of, how do you adapt to it? Like, as an example, they were planning on replacing all these workforces at companies with AI, and very quietly, they've been hiring a bunch of people back because it hasn't been working out the way they wanted, or
Fascinating.
problems were happening. Like, I guess Taco Bell was doing AI drive-throughs, and people were saying things like, yeah, I'd like 18,000 cups, please. And just weird, because we're unpredictable. We come up with some crazy ass shit that, somebody going, yeah, okay.
Well, not
whatever,
only that,
George.
you've got people who are drunk slurring their words. Taco box, chimichanga. How do you decide what that was?
Or what about the secret menus at like In-N-Out? Don't they have like a secret menu of different things that you order that there's just sort of weird inside knowledge stuff or whatever?
Yeah, I don't. Right. Well, the person buying it doesn't know it. The people who work there know it. Who are making it through the secret sauce.
Exactly. Well, no. I mean, there's like a secret menu. Like you could just ask for certain things. It's not on any menu out there.
Oh, right.
Like
you
everybody knows.
You could go off the menu at a bunch of places and say, yeah, you could. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Right.
So anyway, these are all examples. But I'm also thinking, even in terms of script writing, one thing to consider is that AI is only brilliant at what has already happened. Like it is fed all works of literature, all things that have been written.
That's helpful.
But nothing forward.
Right.
So for genuine creativity or something original, a human can come up with something completely
Well, I'm saying
original.
if I had a draft, I would build on it and work with the draft from AI and then improve it. That's what I would do. I mean, first I'd have to see what comes out,
Mhm.
but if I had the a script in my hand that I could rewrite. Dude, that saved me months and months of work.
It would, and I guess it would just then be a matter of what is the economy of scale on that. It's like if you can, work it in a week, then you're only going to get a couple grand for it that you might have gotten, a much bigger deal. And then I guess there'd just be a new economy of how it's done. And
it might be better than the old economy, because I remember creating a project with an African-American lead and was told that we had to find a black writer. And we went around, finally found a black writer to front for me. And they paid him, I believe, $250,000. We didn't hear from him for 6 months. And he wrote us a note saying he was in rehab and he had smoked up all the money. So maybe that system was not as effective.
Maybe. But okay, we've got a script coming out here. I don't know if it's written by AI, but it does cross over with us. Got the
look at
Kennedy
this one.
Dynasty
Yeah, I just
series.
saw that yesterday. This is some new Netflix drama with Michael Fassbender, who's wonderful, playing Joseph Kennedy. I don't know exactly what this is going to cover, but it's a multi-part drama with various actors in it, covering the family itself. I think it's about the politics of the Kennedy family. So he's a great actor. That's why I'm only mentioning.
Oh, Fassbender for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm mentioning it, because of Fassbender.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll be dead on for that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this guy's the goods.
Yeah,
He's this weird actor that should have had a bigger career, and nobody knows why, other than possibly bad representation or something. Nobody's figured out what the hell happened to Michael Fassbender's career.
Yeah, well, I mean, didn't he just do something with he did the Netflix thing Hitman or something? Or
Yeah.
and I know he was in X-Men, I thought.
It's all hit or miss. Inglourious Bastards and
was
various
he
things.
Steve Jobs or
Steve Jobs. I mean, but these are all erratic things. I mean,
But then maybe he's a bad picker. Like
He
he
may be a
might
bad picker, yeah.
choose what he
Yeah.
likes to play, and it's not necessarily the blockbusters.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But anyway, keep your ears open for this if you hear anything.
Well, keeping on the Hollywood track, because you had talked about, Trump, everybody's trying to make, Hollywood great again.
Oh,
well, this is a good sign. Heat 2 is going to shoot in LA.
yeah, this is interesting. Michael Mann making Heat 2, starring DiCaprio, by the way. DiCaprio's movie with P.T. Anderson has now lost Warner Brothers, I believe, $150 million. Tron has lost $162 million for Disney. This is all in the same week, by the way.
What a shame.
What's that?
What a shame.
Yeah, this is P.T. Anderson's new film about Antifa, starring DiCaprio. It's supposed to be a very, very dark comedy, but the reality of it is it's scheduled to lose about $150 million. And as is Tron, that I believe stars Jared Leto, also expected to lose about $150 million for Disney. These are not sustainable losses. And that's why Ellison and his crew at Skydance and Paramount are circling Warner Brothers to bring it in as part of the Paramount family. And it will happen. I don't think that Trump is going to block Ellison from picking up Warner Brothers Discovery by the end of the year, because they have run these companies into the ground. You can say whatever you want about the politics of the movies. The fact is, a movie is a movie, and they don't know how to do it. Regardless
they're
of the
out
politics.
there trying to get a bidding war, it appears.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, and this guy's trying to sell off some of the library to keep their jobs going. I mean, the fact that the top guys are making, nobody even bothers to look, saying, why are you making $35 million a year, you CEO? Like, what is it, bro? What's the deal here?
It's a going rate, Mark.
Yeah, I know. I mean, nobody. How dare you question that I'm making $35 million a year? Like, what is it about this? What is it about this guy that says $35 million a year? What is it? Is there some sort of college course he took, or a degree that he got in picking bad movies? I mean, anybody could do this fucking job, and in fact, anybody has done it.
It is funny. Some of these guys go from, working as a mailroom guy all the way up to running a studio. I don't think that's unheard of.
No, it's happened before.
So, I mean, it cracks me up. I just saw this while I was looking around. Find that very interesting. That during the Jimmy Kimmel drama, cancellation rates doubled, but signups also increased.
Fascinating.
So,
by the way, did you see this Joe Rogan thing about Mark Maron yesterday, where he?
I wanted to ask you about that. Are you saying that's what you were telling me, that Mark Maron's a jealous type?
I've been saying this for years, but I didn't have a dog in the hunt, and apparently Joe Rogan just fucking destroyed him yesterday. How he's just bitter and attacking other comics in his own act, not privately. He goes after all these, and I didn't know. I don't follow him that closely. Apparently, Joe Rogan said he canceled his own podcast because it's 220th now in the rankings of podcasts. And
it's been going down for a long time.
I had no idea.
And Joe is correct when he said the interviews are fine, they're good, but he does. I don't know if you've ever heard the podcast. He walks around and kind of just bitches for.
I have heard it. Yeah, I had to listen to one with him and Robin Williams from about 12, 13 years ago. I listened to that one last week, and I've listened. I mean, he had Obama on as his final guest in his garage, but what a bitterball. I mean, what an incredible bitterball. And Joe Rogan called him out on it. You know, he's just denouncing and he's a progressive, and his comedy is really not comedy at all. It's him ranting about progressive issues. And he went after Theo Von, and that was just cruel. Apparently, Theo Von got all spun out, saying he'd have Hitler on as a guest, and he does a whole routine with Theo Von and Hitler.
Well, I played it on here. I mean, in fairness, Theo Von is a guy who's saying, hey, if I'm not alive, it's the Jews. So I'm no fan of Theo Von.
I'm no fan of his crazy crap, but he has made a career of some sort, Mark Maron, of denouncing other comics.
Yeah, Joe.
And now
if he's doing well, he's happy, and if he does poorly, then boom.
Yeah.
And this is the first comic, though, that Joe Rogan has gone after since Carlos Mencia, which was in 2007.
The legendary joke stealer.
And Rogan almost took him out on stage because it was Rogan who exposed him. He went out.
You're going to hear some more about that tomorrow, because the show we're doing on Robin Williams is going to expose some more comics in that area. No, not really. No, I'm not. I'm just going to get into it. I'm just warning people that he's not exactly who you may think he is, Robin Williams.
I have heard, though, that one thing about him, and I'm not going to go deep because I don't want to say too much, but Mencia would take it and just doing the routine. If somebody confronted Robin Williams and said, hey, you know what? That's my joke, he would just write a check and say, here you go.
Yeah, that's part of the story. There's more to it. We'll get into it deeper tomorrow. That is a small part of the story. You're correct. But there's more to that story.
So, I mean, it obviously it's not great, but it's better than Mencia in some ways.
Yeah. But yeah, I was shocked to see that Joe Rogan thing. I mean, and Joe Rogan considers him a friend. And he said, I've had problems with him in the past. We've made up. It sounds like some passive aggressive. He said he's psychologically something pathological about him.
No, he does have, he had drug issues, if I recall. He also hung out with Sam Kinison back in the day. But he says that his show was his therapy. And that's why he walks around, blah, 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 it's like his way of getting crap off his chest. And for a while, people were interested in it. And I think that it maybe just got boring to his audience or self-indulgent. People
I don't know. I got into a huge fight with Jerry Stoll, Permanent Midnight Jerry, in verbal fight. And Jerry's a friend too. And I said, I don't find Mark Maron funny. And he said, how could you not find him funny? He's one of my closest friends. I said, well, that's not a prerequisite for being funny, is he's one of your friends. I'm sorry. And he says, well, what gives you the right to say that? And he knows my bona fides, of being a comedy person, and he's not. So I said, that's my opinion. For what it's worth, knock yourself out. He's like a poor man's Woody Allen clone.
Well, you know what, that is true. A couple things real quick, because chat's like, well, what about? We're not saying Joe Rogan is the god of the world either. I mean, Joe Rogan has his own problems, but he can make a correct observation.
Yeah.
Period. So I
He's
do
got
want to put that-
loyalty apparently to his boys, is what the segment was
yeah.
about. Yeah, he's very loyal to his crew.
Well, and that's part of what's going on, though, is
Yeah.
a lot of his quote unquote crew,
Yeah,
because Rogan has fallen under fire lately, and
Yeah.
a lot of them are piling on, like
Yeah.
trashing Austin, trashing his club.
wow.
And Rogan has been, he's starting to feel like, hey, I platformed you sons of bitches,
Yeah.
and now you're doing this to me, and he's got a point. Their comments could be true, or they may be true, but loyalty is not necessarily a bad thing. You're in that world, right? You're like, you don't agree with somebody, but you're not going to immediately go trash them in public.
No, of course not.
So it is what it is. And yeah, Cat Williams, I feel like it all started with Cat Williams in 2024, that January interview with like Shannon Sharp or somebody like that. He just went on a bend. I mean, he talked about Diddy is going to be going down, and
Yeah,
he
he's
just
right about that.
well, he's right about that, and about Rogan. He kept saying about all the 7 unfunny comedians that are always on Rogan, and he just went scorched earth. But here's somebody who likes to hang around with the really bad people.
Who?
Future governor of New York.
Mayor of New
if
York.
you can-
Mayor of New York.
Sorry, whatever. Yeah, future mayor of New York. I mean, what could be better than to have some World Trade Center bombing planners? I mean, come on.
Is he mayor of Gaza? I mean, what city is he the mayor of? I mean, this guy was involved in the planning of 9/11. He's hanging out with now.
Was it 9/11 or the first real World Trade Center?
Oh, the first
bombing?
one, I think.
I think it was the
World
first
Center
one.
bombing.
Ramsey
with
Youssef.
the blind sheik.
Yes.
The blind sheik who they mined the base of the building with thermite.
So yeah, I mean,
They didn't have enough thermite. That was the problem.
but this guy keeps. He's hanging out with them, and he's like, "Oh, hey, and oh God."
Well, I
Good
don't
luck,
know.
New York.
Yeah,
Good
good
luck.
luck, because this guy, like I said after the primary, the guy's a shoo-in, and it doesn't matter. All these different moving the chairs on the deck of the Titanic are not going to change the outcome of this election. I don't know what's happening in Virginia, but that seems to be a close race.
Well, it's at least competitive, and New
Yeah.
Jersey looks to be favorable for Republicans.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
two-way this morning was funny because Mark Halperin saying, "Okay, so if what is it, a Sliwa
Yeah.
quits and Cuomo says you'll be deputy mayor in charge of
Right.
cats, and this and this and this,
It's so
what are
crazy.
the odds going to be then?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just kind of funny.
I mean, there's a lot of egos involved here. I mean, he was suggesting for those at home that Slee would drop out of the race with Andrew Cuomo, guaranteeing him some position regarding security in New York City, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
NYPD, some kind of oversight security job.
But it's too late. I mean,
Of course, it's too late. They should have
there's
done
no
this.
way.
They should have done this the day after the primary.
And really,
By the way,
I mean,
Giuliani came out and endorsed Sliwa yesterday. I don't know if you noticed that.
no,
Okay.
I didn't.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Well, thanks. Good to have you. How about 5 months ago there, Rudy? Where
Yeah.
you been?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, he's had some issues lately.
I know he's had issues. My point is, though, that if they were to do that, they'd still lose, and it's even more embarrassing. So you might as well keep the vote split, and then you can blame it on the vote being split and blame each other. Same way that Al Gore blamed Ralph Nader, and you at least
Ross
have your
Perot,
little fall
Ross
position.
Perot. Yeah, I
Ross
mean,
Perot,
I just wish they would ask Kristi Noem why she's not enforcing the naturalization laws under DHS, and what her answer is.
Good point. Good point.
I mean, she may say no comment. She may say, I don't know anything about it. She may say, go see Marco Rubio, seems to be in charge of everything, or not. But unless the media begins to ask questions, we live in a vacuum.
Good point. Speaking of media asking questions, we have one person who is asking questions of the right people, and that's Bari Weiss.
I love
Apparently,
this. Every day I wake up. Dude, every day I love this chick even more. They're now calling her mainstream that she's right down the middle. 60 Minutes says that they're mainstream right down the middle. Both of those can't be true. And what did she ask them? What do you do here or something? Or
No, she said, why does the country think you're biased?
Great question.
Great question.
Great.
Yeah.
They're stunned now. They don't know what to make of it because they perceive themselves to be unbiased. As crazy as that sounds,
yeah,
they still perceive themselves to be. And I think it was Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law who were on 60 Minutes being interviewed by Leslie Stahl Sunday night.
Yeah.
How does Leslie Stahl get to do this after being the fulcrum for the complete destruction of CBS News? I don't. What does it take to kill this vampire?
What is so completely mad too is Bari Weiss is not a right winger.
No,
she's not even. She's slightly left. She's just barely, like a hair left of center.
Yeah,
but she's old school and like she's not like Matt Taibbi. Matt Taibbi is no right winger. That's
she was part of the dark web. She was one of the original members.
Yeah, the intellectual dark web.
She was one of the original founding members, one of the original members, and then was forced out essentially by the New York Times for being far too conservative for their ilk.
Which is hilarious because it was just basic anti-woke things. If you really look, and if you were to sit down with Bari Weiss and say, hey, what do you think about pro-life or pro-choice? She would probably be pro-choice. So what do you think? She probably would like a little bit of gun control. Almost every Democrat traditional plank, I would argue she probably is there, but she is able to
except
be
for
honest.
Except
she can tell the truth. She can acknowledge what is a fact and not a fact.
Except for one. What's that?
Well, I was going to say she can acknowledge what is a fact.
Right. No, but as Mark Halpern said, he said, I could guarantee you one thing. And he said the editorial position on Israel at CBS News is going to change. And he was right about that.
Oh, for sure. But from what I've seen, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Israel is not exactly a right-wing
favorite, right-wing favorite.
No, if you look at how the country is governed.
No, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So
it could be center right. I mean, it could be. It's obviously tons of leftists there for sure.
Sure.
I mean, they dragged one out of there during, when he was giving a speech a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, it's the similarities between the two countries are enormous. Let me just leave it at that. The political similarities between our two countries are far closer than us and the UK, far closer than us. And I don't mean close emotionally. I mean structurally and politically. We are so much closer. Again, I'm not saying as nation states. I'm saying as structures and belief systems. Our two countries are much closer than we are of these other allies. We see what's happening in the UK, and Eric will be there next week reporting directly from the UK about what's going on with them.
No, I'll report after I get back. You think I'm going to be dumb enough to say online? People are like on the grill stream, they're saying, hey, you need to be careful when you're saying such a. You think I'm going to sit there in the UK and tweet, look at these idiots, look at this crap.
There's a sitcom guy that Tim Pool had on from Ireland yesterday. And, and he was arrested and physically incarcerated. He said the UK is not as bad as Ireland. That's 10 times worse than the UK. So this problem is spreading, but neither of them are anywhere in the world of Israel and the United States is the point I'm trying to make.
Oh, fair enough. Well, back to Bari Weiss, though. And what I'm saying is that the main sticking point with her is that she believes in actual facts, unlike this person here.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start.
No.
In fact, I think our reverence for the truth
It's overrated.
might have become a bit of a distraction.
It's distraction. Yeah.
That I mean, think about that for a second. I mean, that is George Orwell.
Yeah.
It is literally newspaper, and she's just saying it out loud. So all Bari Weiss is trying to say is, okay, the sky is blue, ground is brown, grass is green.
They don't believe that that's effective because when confronted with the facts, that becomes a difficult argument to fight back against. So they said, okay, facts are out.
And who is that, Mark, that we just played?
That woman?
Yeah.
She was the head of Wikipedia for a while.
NPR.
No, I know where she went later, but she was the head of Wikipedia to get to NPR.
Right. So it's a news person. So I'm not just picking some random college professor off the street.
She's the equivalent of Bari Weiss at CBS News now.
Exactly. And this, and her philosophy, what she just said, I feel is rampant through the newsrooms. And that's what Bari Weiss is fighting.
Yeah.
So,
it's a weird fight because you just laugh at them and just go, you can't be serious, but they are serious. The truth and the facts we can't argue against. So we're just going to say it's not worth it. The truth and facts are not worth it.
100%.
That's insane. That's insane. And yet people read that New York Times every day for what reason?
The paper of record.
The paper of record, not realizing they all seem to think they are above manipulation. Being manipulated. They all seem to think that they're too smart, that they could read between the lines. Like we had Soviet readers, like Matt Taibbi was a Soviet reader back in the day who would go over and read TASS and Soviet papers to try to understand what was going on in the government. Because
criminology, right?
Right, criminology. Well, there's a New York Timesology that people think they could read between the lines. I don't have the patience for that, bro. You know, I read the LA Times for the sports pages and the coverage of the Dodgers, and this Chinese guy, owner, who keeps saying he's changed the editorial is full of shit. I mean, the first paragraph of these stories they editorialize. Every freaking little story is fact-free and editorialized. Stories about people in high pursuit car chases are editorialized. I mean, it's insane. That is the story of the post 21st century now. To get into the last 2/3 of the 21st century, this story is the alteration of news to be a feelings-based institution as opposed to a fact-based institution.
Post-truth world.
Post-truth world, yeah. And she's the leader of it. Yes,
NPR is a template for a lot of it. Yes. I actually had somebody write in.
She's a Wilf, you know, Wikipedian. Sorry, it's just
you go for it. You go for it. I like you, Mark. You have questionable taste sometimes. I actually had somebody write in. It was saying, "Who do you go to for news?" And I had to pause and think about it because I really don't trust any news.
You got to cherry pick it.
Well, and the number one thing I could advise is you have to read the entire article. Because 90% of the time, when you get to the end, you'll find it doesn't match a headline.
Yeah.
And then you are able to maybe extract what the story is, read several articles and compare them, but it takes a lot of work. Yeah. And it does take a lot of effort.
They'll put the facts in the last 2 paragraphs.
Every time.
Even the New York Times and the LA Times. Because they're forced to do it, and the editor will rearrange the paragraphs. And they may have put that in the lead, but they'll make it the 11th paragraph now.
Wow. Let me go through some super chats, by the way. So while we're talking about another country that is being taken over by leftists, we have from Australia, our friend Anthony Madison.
I think they're getting some submarines in a couple of days. So they are now trying, and Trump is nonstop. Now he's trying to go to Australia and pull them out of the Chinese communist orbit with submarine weaponry and submarines for the Australians. So this is the beginning of a longer story.
Oh, for sure. But as Anthony always says, I think I've said it before, but it's worth repeating. Trump's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Every super chat. And Pamela is right here on time. Thank you, Pamela. I think she was substitute teaching in high school today. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you.
I think
Pamela.
Trump also sent money to Argentina to bail out Malay the other day.
Yeah, again, it's a second time. Apparently, it's 20 more billion. There's 20 billion before. And I have to tell you, when I saw that, I was like, I thought Argentina was doing so well. Are they not doing so well? Are we carrying them? Do I feel good about that? I don't know. So I like.
Well, I think
Malay
we're
and his message.
getting cattle in return. We're getting steaks.
Steaks. Nice play on words. I definitely kind of like Intel, but you can eat it, right?
We're getting beef. Let me put it that way. He's signing a beef money exchange deal, from what I understand.
All right, I will have to
bring down the cost of meat in the country. There is a method to his madness.
That's true. Of course, there are American ranchers who are probably going, "What are you doing, man? That's going to harm us." So
this number one problem right now that's standing out as a sore thumb is the cost of groceries, and he's got to do anything on the face of the earth. This is just my opinion, to lower the cost of groceries for political reasons. I don't care how he does it, where he does it. He's got to do it. And it's such a sore thumb to the average American that any way he can get this down.
Well, can I push back on that a little bit?
No, you can't.
Okay. Well, I ironically had something pulled up because Stephanopoulos was trying to dig into that, and he had the Walmart CEO on. And I was surprised to hear this.
And let's talk about Thanksgiving first. Food prices are up, especially turkey. So what are you doing to help customers keep the cost down?
Well, good morning, George. It's great to see you. We are really excited about what we have planned for this year at Thanksgiving, and I can't believe it's already that time of year, but this is a time of year when people are busy. They don't want to sacrifice quality, and we want to do all we can to help them celebrate the holiday any way they want, and we want to do it in a way that's very affordable with a lot of value. So I want to talk about a couple things with the Thanksgiving basket. First, we started putting together this idea of having the entire basket easy to purchase, easy to assemble back in 2022. And this year, we will have the best prices on this basket we've had since the program started. We're down about 25% from last year, down about $14 for the basket, which puts us in a position where this basket is just under $4 a person when serving 10 people. So we have a great basket that has a mix of our great brands, like Butterball turkeys. Our turkey prices, George, are all the way back to what they were in 2019 at 97 cents a pound. So we're really excited about the progress.
Well, this is why I wanted to push back and bring it up, because it literally just saw this and I'm hearing, oh, it's horrible. And then Walmart CEO is going, oh, by the way.
Well, this hasn't happened yet. I mean, right now the prices are and have been horrible in the real world here. I mean, it's just insane how expensive groceries are. I don't know, maybe he's putting a special deal together for Walmart for Thanksgiving, but the average American, and I'm not talking out of school, they're just being devastated by the cost of groceries.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think things aren't as bad as it seems. I mean,
what? Okay.
Well, it depends on where you are.
I don't know about because that. Well, you could comment down below where you are.
Yeah, please do, because I do think that is a factor.
Have groceries gone down? Has groceries gone down where you are? Pretty simple question.
Yeah, I know they're down.
I mean, I'm hemorrhaging paying for groceries, bro.
Well, you're in LA, dude.
No. It doesn't matter where I am. It's a situation where every product that I lived in LA before this, and now everything's up for 5 years, 60, 70%. I was still in LA before this happened.
Right. And then you have gasoline has fallen below $3. Well, again, so that's why I do want everybody to comment where they are, because it is a factor and not everything is there. Now, where I'm in Virginia, I think there's more farms nearby and different things, and locally sourced items could be down. I don't know. But I think the prices are slightly down from last year.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that, it's a bargain, but, and it depends also what it is. Like beef is up.
Well, that's why he's making that deal with Argentina, I guess.
That's true. And somebody in the chat, it flew by, I didn't get a chance to flag it, said that I guess the amount of beef production in Argentina is a rounding error compared to American. So it may not fluctuate the market as bad. I don't know. Let me see. Bob Tranquilli, happy show birthday. Thank you. Member 25 months, over 2 years. Thank you very much, Bob. And Robert Jenkins, I bet Mark has a ton of interesting memorabilia, pictures, things. How about a show where Mark does a house tour or show and tell? Good idea or no?
Apparently not, Robert. Not a very good idea. How about we do it at your house first?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like here. Let's give an inventory for potential thieves.
Yeah, let me show you where it is too, and how to get in.
James J. Who's got J's in 4?
If that happens, I'll eat your hat, James.
Antonio 8520. Fassbender and Kung Fury 2 is amazing. It's
making my
on
point.
YouTube.
Making my point.
Well, that was what I said about
that should not be in Kung Fury 2.
He maybe shouldn't be picking it or
Right.
accepting it. I mean, I don't know. Diffuse 56 with $50. Tractor guy is coming in hard. Brief footnote regarding the drone/USOs. See AUS for 128.22. Mark cites a UFO at a known New York State UFO hotspot. Also mentions John Keel. That's right, of Mothman UFO fame. See comments section about Mark's former girlfriend's connection with Keel. Regards.
That is all true. All of that's true. Well, it's not related to the drones. It's not. What's that?
Yeah, we do have an episode. It's
right. It's not really related to the drone story. UFOs. I was specifically talking about the November, October, September drone incidents off the coast of New Jersey. But yeah, that there's an episode about the UFOs, right?
Right, and for $50, I'll make it associated.
Yeah, yeah. John Keel showed me the sightings that were happening in Jewett, New York, in upstate New York, and it was a nerve center of sightings going back to World War II. It blew my mind because that's where this incident he's describing occurred. When I was at Sonora House after school, it was like 1977-ish, and the UFO incident occurred there. But yeah, it was confirmed by John Keel, and later my girlfriend turned out at the time to be the president of LA MUFON, for people who know what MUFON is.
What is that?
Something UFOs network or something.
Oh, okay.
Media UFO network, I think.
Okay, I was worried that it had something to do with
no, it's an organization.
Moonies or a cult.
No.
We had Mark versus the Moonies as an episode too.
It's an organization of UFO researchers.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much, Diffuse. That's super generous. Jenny's getting inky with it. $10. Thank you. I use AI to write songs, and it's good to get foundation, but refining can be a pain, as after a few changes, it tends to just repeat previous responses or ideas.
Wow.
It's very frustrating.
Wow.
Yes, and I spend a lot of time personally because, like with Oklahoma City, I'm trying to research like crazy. I fed in tons of books and different things, and I ask questions like hey, who is such and such, and what are they known for? And they'll give me page numbers on the books, and all of that's super helpful. But then I'll ask a question, and I can't think of what. Oh, somebody reached out who was a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, and he just sent us $50. This guy right here, I believe it's the same guy.
Is this another subject now, or what happened?
No, it's just carrying on with the one that I just was talking about.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I just using it as a headway in here.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Wait, I didn't read that.
Well, I will. I'll get to it. Let me tell the story.
Go
Okay.
ahead. I'm a little confused.
Okay. In terms of the AI and the frustration levels, I had done a search. The individual reached out. He's a Pulitzer Prize journalist. Identified himself, and I said, "Oh, really? Hey, that's a big deal. Hey, is this a Pulitzer Prize journalist? No. The publicist for Elizabeth Taylor, John Springer, never won a Pulitzer Prize, blah, 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 blah." So I had to dig a little bit more, and I found it's like, okay, John Springer, who just did the super chat, was part of a team of writers for the Hartford Courant who won a Pulitzer Prize as a newsroom. Therefore,
That's
he
cool.
is a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist.
Oh,
and so
yeah,
they had to
definitely.
argue back and forth with the damn AI, and it happens a lot.
Oh,
where I'm
that
like,
happens all the time, bro. With
it'll
AI.
say
Yeah.
no, blah 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 blah, and then I go, well, what about blah 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 blah? Oh, you're right. So
I know
you
that's
can't
happened to me
trust
too.
it.
Yeah,
You
I know
can't
that's
trust
happened
it.
to me. I just recently went through that too.
Now, thank you, John Spring. This is very generous. And now I will go to the question here. I just wanted
I'm sorry.
to.
Go ahead. Okay, I didn't know what you're.
Question: what do you make of the translated document suggesting Soviets got a typewritten Oswald letter days before JFK hit that KGB deemed likely fate?
Yeah.
In part because his previous letters were written by hand. Well, didn't
Yeah, that's
Ruth
true. We
Paine find
covered
a
that.
typewritten letter?
Yeah, we did cover that on multiple episodes. It's the only typewritten letter that he ever wrote because Ruth Paine wrote it on her typewriter and then gave it to the FBI saying, look what I found. I found this typewritten letter. Oh my. So John is right on the money with this question. Yeah, they comment about it in the Soviet document because it is the only typewritten thing. Everything else he wrote by hand. And they also said it was a poor Russian that he didn't like. It was her. It wasn't him. His Russian was 10 times better than Ruth Paine's Russian. And that was a red flag for the Soviets.
Well, the question though is,
don't forget, she was taking lessons.
No.
from
I know,
Marina.
but people speak at a level and they write at a level. Sometimes it's not the same. Like some people may be, they may be fluent in language, but functionally illiterate.
I agree. But of the three characters involved in this troika, Marina, Lee, and Ruth Paine, she was the least knowledgeable of the three in Russian writing and language. She was the weakest link of the three. She was taking lessons, quote unquote, from Marina on how to speak better Russian.
Okay.
And the Soviets were hip to this, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you very much, John. Very generous. Very generous. 556 Pew Pew. Tune in for the WWLB. Next are
this is WWLB broadcasting live from Hollywood.
Wow. I was like, interesting. I thought, let me see, what's up with Lord Buckley?
Yeah,
it should be Wallub. Oh, well, anyway.
No, I've been doing the same thing just to save some space. I've been writing the same way.
Okay, so like we're AUS, and then people get confused. They're like, what do you have to do with Australia anyway? It's like,
Oh,
nothing.
yeah, that's weird. What's NOK?
That's a Norwegian kroner,
Okay.
I believe. But that's Pew Pew. And Pew Pew also wrote, please, no jail grill house stream, or jailhouse grill stream. No, I don't think so. Of course, somebody, a smartass in the chat I saw flying by, was saying, hey, if you get arrested, it'll get your numbers up.
That's funny.
People will tune it. Yeah. That's like when I got threatened by the DA of Santa Fe. It was like, oh, people tuned in to see that. You did?
How about that nut? Remember how crazy she was?
Yeah, she wasn't the DA. Sorry, she was acting prosecutor. But yeah, she. I think she's back in private practice. I really think that she was. I mean, that judge kind of remanded her in a way, and but Baldwin's case fell apart. He tried suing over it, even though the judge literally told Baldwin, "I'm ruling in this way, and now you can sue."
Well, the judge up in New Hampshire, this Republican judge, was found guilty of running her court improperly and was immediately returned to the bench. In other words, she had a judicial hearing, was found guilty of manipulating her husband's court trial, and she was immediately reseated back on the bench. She was found guilty.
It's
a crazy story, Eric.
Yeah, from the department, you can't make that. Well, that's just more proof of
the power of these judges
and what they think. It's like they're priests and rather than judges.
Yeah, this is terrifying story. Terrifying story.
All right. New Hampshire Supreme Court Justice Anna Barbara Hans Marconi returning to her seat.
By the way, not just a judge, but a Supreme Court.
Supreme Court
on the
judges
bench on
made
Wednesday with a smile on her face. Just a week after a court found her guilty of trying to influence a criminal case against her husband, New Hampshire Port Authority Director Gino Marconi.
Well, I think it's completely unprecedented. I don't think you could find a case anywhere where a judge engaged in such serious ethical violations and enters a plea to a criminal charge and then
guilty.
2 days later is back on the bench.
It's insane.
Well, she had to recuse herself.
I mean, this is on the level of Kleinsmith.
Oh,
remember that dude? But I mean, this is a judge, for God's sake, and
Trump's
a Supreme Court one.
Trump's got to get on this. This thing, is outrageous.
Well, this is that same piece of shit governor. No, sorry, different state. Who's the governor?
This is New Hampshire.
But is that a Republican governor there? I don't think so.
I don't think so. No, it's a Democratic state. But the reality of it is, she's a Republican, just for the record.
Oh, great.
Yeah, she is a Republican. But that doesn't matter.
I love her smile, though. Like, I'd be smiling too, wouldn't you? It's like, can't touch me.
Wow.
I do not know how the hell that happens. That is mind blowing. While we're actually talking about judges, here's a fun one for you.
What do you have for me?
This is in Florida. So we're talking about, much more hard on crime state, but let's see.
Only 48 hours in police custody, Judge Elaine Barber let Tillman out on a $9,500 bond, even though state prosecutors pushed for pretrial detention. Now, digging deeper into his long criminal past, it reveals the felon was charged with robbery and spent a year in prison for a stabbing. Most recently, he was found guilty of groping another woman on a walk. Fox legal experts say under Florida law, the judge could have held him with no bond, keeping him in custody.
I'm very surprised, not only given her own words calling his background atrocious, but given the facts here.
And
she literally, as she released this guy, talked about what a disgusting creature.
What is their obsession with releasing these people? I mean, do we have to dox them and have people surround their homes? I mean, what has to happen to make them stop?
Well, here's the judge talking. Sorry, I hit the wrong one.
Sorry.
I want you to listen up. You got an atrocious record.
Right. So
These
what?
charges are violent in nature. If I get any inkling that you have violated the conditions of pretrial release, you will be arrested on a no bond warrant. You'll be put right back in jail.
Yeah,
You will not get out. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
But
thank you.
he's
When he chops
reasonable
up the
people.
next woman, I'm
He's
sure
even
she'll
shocked.
be weeping. What's that?
The dude was shocked.
Yeah, even
you see-
he was shocked. He couldn't believe his luck.
Well, I got the videos mixed up. That first video I was playing you,
Yeah.
he already violated.
Oh, already. I didn't know that.
So no, it's like she let him out. He violated, I think, within in no time at all.
Look,
And-
there's
and
got
right
to
back
be
in.
a way to stop these judges. There's got to be some way to stop them. This is insane.
Well, there's got to be some sort of skin in the game, some sort of liability.
There's got to
you know,
be some skin in the game.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, how about a system where if you let a guy out and he does X, Y, and Z, it's on you. You know what I mean? If you keep, and it's your name is public, your record becomes, if you do this 3 or 4 times, you're removed from the bench. There's got to be a system of removal.
Or maintain, like I understand it, you can't predict everything, but you could say that you have to maintain a grade point average. Like,
Right, yeah.
It's like your
Let's say
X
he commits
percentage have to
commits
be
5 crimes, right? He commits 3 crimes, 5 crimes. It's on you. There's got to be some sort of checks and balances here. You can't have a guy. This is just till since 2022 with this guy. They didn't go. This is like 10 felonies in 3 years.
Oh no! I mean, yeah, that's all they can fit on the screen, Mark.
Right.
I'm sure it probably go longer. I mean, how many times have we seen that when they're like, okay, that person had 120 arrests?
Yeah.
What?
There's no penalty,
and they're
to the judge.
22. By the way, Mark, and they're 22. Or they're like super young.
I don't know. We have to spitball some ideas of what to do. Maybe the prosecution refuses to hold a trial in her courtroom. Maybe they issue a blackout or a blockade of having things processed before that judge. I mean, I'm just trying to spitball some ideas here. but something's got to give.
There you
Something's got to give here.
A 15-year-old that's been arrested 111 times in 2 years.
Well, we need the name of those judges who have been releasing them, and something has got to happen. You can't have, unless, the judge has to be stopped by the prosecution not going into that courtroom. That might be an idea.
I don't think they can, though. So some of it has to be the judiciary or the governor. But then if they're a leftist, it's like the governor, I think, can remove a judge or can maybe do some,
Well, something's got to give.
with-
You can't have 111 crimes by a 15-year-old and just keep going. Like what happened when he got to 65? They just said, well, we can't put him away. He's only got 65 felonies.
Well, I'm like, how are you out doing
Everyone in this country knows what's happening. Everybody knows, left and right. They want to end prisons. They want to end incarceration. They want to end bail. They want to end the police. And the rest of the country is saying no. And yet this seems to be nothing anybody can do.
Yeah, because the rest of the country, they don't want to end the lives because that's where we're heading. And I actually saw this come in and I have not dug into it. It's just a tweet that Bongino was sharing. And it's kind of what I was worried about happening, and you too. We got a Fed that apparently has been wounded, or
we knew this was
subjects wounded. So let me see what the report is, because I don't want to.
This might be a car incident, one of those run over things.
I thought there was a.
Was there a shooting gun involved, or
a federal agent and a person who was allegedly in the United States illegally were struck by gunfire during an immigration raid in the historic South Central Tuesday morning. So now we have a Fed hit.
Okay. Oh, we knew that was coming.
Yes.
Now, what about Bongino taking apart that sniper's nest by the West Palm Beach airport? I have been all around that airport, and I know exactly where that sniper's nest was. Bongino has had it transferred now to Quantico to do a forensic breakdown of the sniper's nest. There's no hunting around that airport. Let me just tell you right now, I've ridden my bicycle around that airport. I've been to the West Palm Beach airport probably 50 to 60 times in my life. And I know that Belvedere Road. I know every road around there inside and out. There's no, it's not a place where you go deer hunting. Let me just put it that way. So this sniper's nest that they found, and Trump's plane lands there. That's why I'm mentioning it. Air Force One, and even before he was president, he would land at that West Palm airport.
Wasn't it tied to Ruth somehow, or like it's been
there?
No,
they were just mentioning. They were mentioning the similarities in the two cases, how they had a perch. Ruth had a perch that was on the ground, but this perch was up in a tree, and it's relatively new based on the wood. And they have dismantled it and taken it to Quantico. This is another assassination attempt similar to Ruth's. That was based or would be based at Palm Beach International Airport.
You see, that one, you got to be careful with it, but I would want to make a fake report that Trump is going to be visiting the area and then monitor and see who's going to go climb up there, coming in.
Right.
But again, I wouldn't.
Well, one of the films we'll be covering will be In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood, where he plays a Secret Service agent when we go to Dallas.
John Malkovich in that.
Yeah. So there's a plot line there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you got to be careful with that kind of thing. So that's why I want to be very specific.
Yeah, but right now, the discovery has indicated yet another assassination attempt on the president.
Well, we know. I mean, there are multiple out there. There's also two reported potentially from Iran that were not the same as the two we know about, from what I understand. And some drone stuff, again, that drone bit. But shifting over here, Congress has now referred Brennan officially to the DOJ.
Wow.
This is the letter saying, hey, it's
is this for lying to Congress? Or?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Weak sauce.
It is weak sauce unless you're Bannon or Navarro. Then it's
if they give him the same treatment, I'll take it. If they want to send Brennan to a federal prison for 4 to 6 months, I'll take that.
Oh, I'll take that in a heartbeat. That's what I'm saying.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that. I'm just
and
wondering what's going to happen to Comey's legal team now.
I don't know.
I mean, they're trying to, go after Fitzgerald and his legal team. We'll see what happens with that. And also the Supreme Court ruled, I think, that Trump could go into Portland with,
yes,
that's right. Am I right? Did I see that?
You did see that.
In a Chiron somewhere?
Yes. Trump
that was another no-brainer. That was another no-brainer.
Yeah, the only question about the National Guards, which I do think is a legitimate question, is that if you take Texas National Guard and send them into Illinois, that's kind of not cool. Let's reverse it. A lot of people wouldn't like a blue state invading a res. No, I'm just saying.
I think
going state to state is a little bit.
The key word is national, bro. The key word is National Guard.
Well, that might be. Then just take over the National Guard and send them in.
That's what he did. That's what he's doing. That's essentially what he's doing.
But there is another case of him sending California National Guard into Oregon, or trying to do that, or Texas.
Again,
Illinois.
I don't believe that. I think the key word is National Guard, not State Guard. If they wanted to call it State Guard, they would have.
Well, technically,
it's a National Guard controlled by the commander-in-chief.
Yes and no. The National Guard is first controlled by the governor. The National Guard is a state entity. The U.S. Army is the national entity. So there's a lot of
they better change
overlap
the name,
in there.
Eric. They better change it to State Guard.
Names don't necessarily mean anything. Otherwise, we would be in the Democratic Republic of North Korea, for God's sake.
That's a terrible name. That's a terrible name.
So,
what about the Congo? It used to be the Congo, and then it became Congo, and the Ukraine became Ukraine.
Well,
Congo is
now the Democratic
Republic of Congo, right?
Yeah, DRC. So
I'm completely baffled.
Everything that's named democracy is the opposite from what I've seen,
including the DNC.
Yes, I think actually dropping the extra names is encouraging.
How about the DSA, of which Mamdani is a member of, the Democratic Socialists of America?
Yes. Yep.
How about that organization?
Or Democratic Party?
Well, I mean, the Democratic Party. The DSA is like saying, "Hey, we're commies."
I know that. It's like something removed. It's like a lieutenant colonel to a colonel. It's like, oh, we're socialism light, really.
Yeah.
But that is crazy. Anyway, but there are concerns about state to state and what have you. Now, back to the judges.
Yeah.
Here's one possible answer, because I forgot to share the story, but Big Ball's attackers were completely released.
Of course they
and let off, right?
Of course.
Well, Janine says hell no.
Today, we are announcing that Lawrence Cotton Powell, who is 19 years of age, along with Anthony Taylor, who is 18 years of age, are now charged with assaulting Levine. Cotton Powell was stomping on Levine's head, as you can see in this poster to my left. Levine was able to get up momentarily, but the crowd chased him and got him down again. They continued to attack Levine while he was on the ground, and then proceeded to rob him of his sneakers and his watch. The group then, after the robbery and assault of Ethan Levine, they walked in the direction of where another crime occurred within minutes. You have heard of this crime. Edward Korestein, a 19-year-old Doge person who was working in the administration, was walking a young woman to her car when he was approached in the 1400 block of Swan Street Northwest. Approximately 10 suspects approached him, and as they did,
so what is she doing? Picking off the adults out of the
into
group?
The car.
And
he was protecting her from the group before he was then attacked by multiple suspects, who then punched him repeatedly, causing significant injuries to him. They got him on the ground, and as they were doing so, They demanded the car from the woman who was inside the car and had already locked the car. They were banging on the car. They were pulling the car door.
Anyway, what is she going to do about this? She's picking off the adults that were in the group to prosecute as adults?
I believe she is charging everybody federally. So,
what? No.
Well,
it
no,
sounds like
okay,
she's
yeah,
picking
no,
off
the
the
two
two
adults,
older ones. Yeah,
are charged with assault.
Right, but there's 17 others who are under the age of 18 that she's not going to charge, who were released, or 10 or whatever when the number was. I'm not sure, but
potentially. I mean,
these two are above the age of 18, so they're
maybe that's a federal issue. I don't know what the federal laws are. Maybe they don't have laws for trying a teenager as an adult on the federal level. I have no idea. So lawyers can step in on that. Maybe there's a reason.
Well, yeah, because they're underage.
I understand. I don't know. I was going to say Malvo got charged underage, but he got charged by Virginia, so never mind. Or the DC snipers.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I think that's good. If they can step in and actually do lay charges themselves. Diffuse 56 gifted 10 America's Untold Stories memberships. Keeping the trend going. Thank you, Diffuse.
You know, Trump says he's going into San Francisco next, by the way, Eric.
Okay.
With the National Guard.
Oh, we'll see what happens.
That's fun.
I mean, the way he's doing, going and protecting federal buildings and backing up ICE is fine. I mean, I think that's why he's able to push it through, because it's very hard to argue when he sends in the National Guard. It's federal agents doing federal things with federal buildings. Then, tough shit. And I think it's very smart of them to do it that way.
Well, speaking of smart, how did you like that robbery at the Louvre?
Bold.
I mean, they pulled up with that basket elevated device. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like that. It's something
it's
you
like
would
a
use
hoist, a roof hoist.
A hoist with a basket on top from a truck, like you would use in a film, and went in through that window on the second floor. 4 to 7 minute operation. Holy cow! 4 to 7 minutes.
Well, yeah, it was absolutely brazen, as they put it. It's a perfect word for it. I was looking for that hoist.
The hoist is the best part of the whole story. I saw a picture of it this morning. I had no idea how they got into that second floor window. There it is. This is what they came with.
Right, that's what's so brilliant about it, because who the hell would be driving up the hoist? There had to be a reason for them to be there.
Showed up with that. I mean, why not a hook and ladder from the fire department, for Christ's sakes? I mean, look at that. Then they try to set it on fire when they left, but they put it out. But holy cow, what a brazen is a great word.
It's a perfect
great
word.
that they have a terrace up there, so you can climb right onto the terrace.
Well, Mark, that it's a brilliant operation. It's social engineering is what they're doing, because the same way a lot of people get hacked, it's because they're conned into giving credentials or whatever else. Well, here it's like the old thing of if you were working in a corporation and somebody wanted to get in, they would put on a hard hat or they dress up like a telephone guy. And people had so much trouble getting their phones repaired. It was such a pain. Nobody would ever question a phone guy. Well, it's kind of like this. Why would anybody have a bucket? There had to be a reason. They were doing work.
Of course.
I mean, that is some, slick operation.
Great operation.
It was Napoleon's wife's.
Right. Where do you sell this, on eBay?
Well, apparently they've already covered 2 pieces from my understanding.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Hard to move. That's why I've been calling for more heist movies in Hollywood, because of events like this. It's really going to take off now. Now you're going to see more heist scripts coming out.
Well, I mean, heist scripts are fun.
Yeah, that's why I kept saying it for the past 3 years. They haven't had any in a long time, and now you'll see some more of them, hopefully.
Well, I mean, Heat 2, right?
Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, isn't that a heist
no,
movie?
he's hip to it. Yeah, I mean, that's why he's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah,
because like we've been talking around town, when in doubt, make a heist picture. It's not political. Sure. It's not political. Look at the fact that they have no bars on that window. That they literally went in through that glass there.
Because nobody would think about doing it except for these guys. So yeah, I mean,
I don't know how you could not have bars on that window. Not that you can't go through the bars, but I mean, nevertheless, they literally just broke that glass and went in.
By the way, kind of like Ryder Truck with Oklahoma City. Do you think Still likes their product being
no. But it's a good commercial.
They're probably like, can you turn that around?
It's a good commercial.
Oh my God.
It's in English, police.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Is police a universal word?
No, I don't think it is.
Well, maybe it is.
Polizei is a word. There's different languages.
Police, yeah. In Italy.
Why does it say police?
Those who are French speakers in the audience, is police the word in French, or do they have a variant? I don't speak.
Well, in Compton, it's popo.
Yes, that's true.
If you speak Nate. Look at this thing. I would wear this. Look at this.
I don't think it would fit on our heads.
No, look at that. Head. Holy cow.
They're supposed to be the most uncomfortable things on the
crown.
Planet. Yeah.
Crown? Well, that's why they had no King's Weekend, because of how heavy the crown is upon a man.
Absolutely. Trump only wishes he was a king.
They interviewed two guys who were at the Dallas No Kings rally. It was fascinating. This guy picked these two older guys, and most of these guys were older anyway. And he said, who is your city councilman that you voted for? And he says, I have no idea. I just vote when it says D next to his name. And he says, so you don't even know the name of who you voted for? He goes, no, I couldn't care less. As long as it says D next to his name. And he says, then the reporter says, do you know the name of the mayor in Dallas? And he says, no. And the other guy, they look at each other. They were from Dallas, these two 65-year-old guys, leftists, and they didn't know the name of the mayor. They didn't know the name of their city councilman. The one guy said there are some Republicans that he likes. And the guy said, well, who are they? And he said, I don't know, because they don't tell us their names. And he says, well, why do you like them? And he says, because they're really good guys. There's a handful of them in the Republican Party. It's one of the strangest.
Very thoughtful.
They were at a No Kings rally. They were at a No Kings rally, and the reporter decided to quiz them about their political acumen, which turned out to be zero.
Well, that's why it
didn't know the name of the mayor and the city they lived in.
Yeah, well, I get frustrated. I think it's Oklahoma. I could be wrong, but there are states, for example, where you could just vote a party block, and you don't even have to bother picking the names up.
Right.
I personally feel, and I might be weird, if I don't know the name, I don't vote. So if I don't know either name, I literally will leave it blank. I'm not going to choose because I don't know. But I think that they should remove the D and the R next to the names.
That would be great.
And literally
just
idea. Put them on the ballot as they are for whatever position.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
But I usually don't get
How about the fact that, how about a better idea? You go in and there's a blank ballot and you write in the name. Whoever gets the most wins. Whoever gets the most wins.
Yeah.
I write in Eric Hunley, and Eric Hunley gets the most. It's Eric Hunley.
Good idea.
Right. It's just a blank thing there for city councilman. It says, these are your choices. I don't know if they're all up at the same time, but it could be 3 blank lines. You write Eric Hunley, and I write David Fry, and I write a third name, and they get the most votes. That's who wins.
Yeah, and we won't hold you to spelling.
Right. Forget about it. You can get it wrong.
as long as people can figure out who it is.
Right. You could draw a picture of the guy too if you're illiterate. Draw a picture of Hunley.
There you go. Cute. Don't keep my name in there. Pick another name. Pick Florida man. Vote for the Canadian. He'll get my vote. Okay. I don't know if you saw this story. I don't follow the chess world.
The chess world? Who follows the chess world? What is that?
Well, the chess, there is a grandmaster who's 29 years old who was found, dead.
Oh, yeah, that I did see. Yeah, that I did see. Drowned.
Well, that's why I don't know chess per se, but this is unusual.
Yeah.
And they said he died unexpectedly. Now,
in his bathtub, Eric, or no?
I don't know. They haven't given a reason. However, India Times, or Economic Times of India, I don't know how reliable they are, so it is a little off the beaten path. They're claiming that this guy, a fellow chess player and Russian grandmaster, who had previously accused this guy of cheating, shared screenshots of a private message sent by a viewer who had watched his final stream. There was some concern over his state and whether he consumed some drugs. Danya's streaming looks like he's on some serious drugs.
Okay.
I think the guy got fired from some commentating jobs recently.
Oh, the chess master?
The one who died, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling
I
that
don't know.
there may be more to the story. And anytime people say, unexpectedly, either it's something with a needle that's called a therapeutic drug given to people whether they want it or not, or it's self-deletion. And God, this is what I love about YouTube. I can't even say either thing.
I don't even know what you're
YouTube.
talking about. Yeah, it's hard for me to follow the story.
But you know what I'm talking about. Like, I died unexpectedly. The big tell is they always say 1-800 fill in the blank hotline.
Yeah.
For self-deletion hotline.
Yeah.
Gee,
They
I
have
wonder
a lot of that now for gambling. If they mention gambling, they put that hotline thing in now.
Well,
yeah.
Probably a good idea.
I mean, some TV shows that have gambling have it at the end.
I don't mind that.
How much you think this guy, more importantly, let's get to the point. The World Series starts Friday between a foreign country that we have to travel to play another team. The Dodgers are going to Canada to play in a World Series against a team from another country. I'm not happy about it. I not happy about the hockey people playing baseball, but there's a guy who ended up.
Happened before?
It has happened before, but 1993. It's been over 30 years because that was the last time Toronto was in the World Series.
What about Expos? Did they ever do anything? Or
Expos didn't. They were kaput and they became the Washington Nationals. But there's only one team left up there, and that's Toronto, and they beat Seattle yesterday. I was kind of rooting for Seattle simply because it was an American team
in the same time zone,
and you
right?
could fly up the coast in 5 minutes and be there. Now we have to fly 3,000 miles each way to play Toronto, which I'm not happy about.
Wow.
But the story I was going to say was there was a guy who caught the third home run hit by Ohtani the other night, and he's a professional boxing coach. And this guy's sitting in the catbird seat. Somebody filmed it so perfectly. Multiple cell phones filmed the ball leaving the bat and eventually ending up in this guy's lap. He's now sitting in the catbird seat because the offers are coming in for the ball, and it's millions of dollars. And he was on the radio today talking about it. This guy, and he is in a good position. Let me put it that way. To sell this piece of historic memorabilia.
Well, at least he legitimately got it. It's like one of those bastards that snacks it from a kid. Like, hey, give me that, kid.
Literally ended up in his lap. Literally ended up in his lap, and he said, and there was nobody sitting next to him on the left. Like he was in the bleachers, and that whole side was empty. The people in front of him started fighting, and he knew that it was going to be tipped. And it was tipped right into his lap. He didn't fight with them, and he just grabbed it. And he's a boxing coach, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's a really fun story.
Oh, I had this tweet saved for some reason. I thought it was kind of a cool story. You know Bobby Kennedy yourself, but
somewhat.
This was kind of a surprise. This is
nothing beats the United States of America.
How he travels on a plane.
Yeah, of course he does.
That's pretty impressive. I mean,
I was very impressed by this.
And I'm like, okay, that's.
If Bernie Sanders and AOC could follow his example, we'd save some money.
Yeah, and it didn't look like he was trying to raise a show or anything.
No.
Find a seat. And anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, hey, well done. And I wouldn't even blame him for going first class per se. It's
No,
just it's surprising to see, especially if he travels all the
surprising to
damn
see,
time.
especially if you got to fly, 3,000 miles, which is
Mhm.
There was another fun story of this California bear climbing into the bear. Did you read this? I sent it to you. This
might have
bear
missed it.
broke into the zoo to be with the other bears, and it was a
Aw,
lonely
it's a
female
love story.
It really is a great story. Northern California Zoo up by Sequoia National Park. The female bear was breaking into the zoo to be with the other bears or to break them out. I'm not really sure, but she wanted to get in with the other bears, but was having a hard time. But she climbed over the railing to be with the other bears.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great, fun story about this lonely bear girl who wanted to be with the male bears.
Wow. It sound that does sound like Hollywood script, actually.
I know. It was just such a. There's a little photo. Let me see if I can find this. There's a little photo of her climbing over the fence. There it is. Wild bear stealthily enters California Zoo, is found visiting the bear exhibit.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's
Now, I want to be careful though, because there's a lot of Sora slop floating around too, though. I don't know if you've seen like all the like an opossum getting scared by the Halloween decorations. There's like a whole slew.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah, yeah.
AI.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
Sure.
It's
This
gonna
is a separate story. This is not an AI kind of story. This is just they know who the bear is.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a trail in back of the zoo or something.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? It is time. It is time for us to shift. We are going to head over to our locals, where people have been hanging out, having a good time. Actually, before we do, let me double check Rumble, because occasionally Rumble surprises me. And yes, I am surprised. Hold on. Karen Toff. Dave March out of Canada. Dave March here. I can't super chat you guys. If you come up to Toronto for the series, I live an hour away.
Well, I'm 5 minutes away. I think I'm going to take the home games on that. But you got four. You got four. We only have three, so you got that going for you because Toronto had a better record. So the home team becomes the one with the better season record. So they'll have 4 games at home, which I don't think is going to happen. But we have 3 here. But Friday, Saturday in Toronto, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Los Angeles, California, and then Friday and Saturday, if necessary, games 6 and 7 back in Toronto. Good luck to my Canadian friends. Tip of the hat with this juggernaut. Good luck, boys. Good luck.
This is you almost sound like you're taunting them, but that's okay.
No, it's just a lopsided thing. I mean, if Toronto wins, it'll be one of the biggest upsets in years.
All right. And you'll be on here crying.
Oh, no, absolutely. I don't expect it to happen, but Toronto barely got by Seattle last night. So this is not the same level of the Dodgers.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
That being said, I just want to add this. They found out Tanner Scott, the $75 million relief pitcher, the Dodgers put all their eggs into his basket, cannot make it because he has an anal fissure in his ass and his rectum is damaged by something that it's on the front page of the paper now. It's been solved.
Oh, okay.
He has put something in there that has torn his rectum and he won't be able to be on the team.
Are you sure you didn't write this story when you were with the National?
Couldn't make it up. Couldn't make it up. It sounds like a weekly world news story. Could not make this up. And now he says he's ready to play. And the Dodgers said, thank you very much. We're going to pass. Wow. In other words, he missed 2 rounds of playoffs with something that went into his rectum. And now he says it's been repaired and he's ready to go.
Wow, we had to stay for that story. Okay.
It's a good story. He had 10 blown saves. If I ever see him again, I'll beat the living shit out of him. 10 blown saves. I think that's a record as a relief pitcher in 1 year, especially a team that won the division.
So are you saying he's going to be traded before we know it?
I don't know. They gave him like a huge contract, another blunder. They gave the guy a very, very big contract that they're going to try to get out of now.
All right. Well, we will discuss anal fissures. And
Anal fissures. Ask for it by
Olympics.
name. Anal Fisher.
See,
Bobby Fisher, the grand
chess master. We've got a grandmaster and
the
anal
grandmaster's
Fisher.
sister, Anal Fisher, will be playing the Boris Spassky lookalike in Moscow, coming with Putin and Trump meeting in Hungary.
Wow, and I'm not hungry at all.
No.
This, so.